Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 23 of the Bandwagon Hockey Podcast, Sunday edition. Low energy for me today. I don't know how Ryan's doing, but not feeling too great today. Went to the Senate Tavern for the games. Freaking every game ever went to overtime last night. So it was a long one. Yeah, Ryan, how are you?
I am doing noticeably better than you. I was like asleep by midnight latest. Fell asleep once again before I saw like any of the late game. This Atlantic time plus being used to an early schedule is really killing me for the second halves of most of these nights. So
Yeah.
I spent most of my morning today kind of catching up on a bunch of highlights. So that's what I was doing while you were recovering.
Yeah, I know. I guess, yeah, well, we've definitely got some games to talk about. Lots happening. No series is at 3-0, which is pretty exciting. Every single series is at 2-1. I was just trying to think. So our last episode was inadvertently titled Away Ice Advantage. It should have been Road Ice Advantage, but that's fine. Did it have the teams with home ice advantage sort of regained home ice? Home ice kind of seems that way.
Yeah, honestly, that was not something I looked at going into this episode, but I want to say so.
So Boston took back home ice. Toronto took back home ice. Colorado took back home ice. Vegas took back home ice.
Right.
And if New Jersey wins their next, so it just like how I like 6 out of the 8 game ones were won by the road team. It seems like a lot of these game threes are being won by the road team. So it's just kind of self-correcting itself with home ice advantage. Like I think there's a legitimate shot that we get like 4 or 5 game sevens here. This is looking like this is an awesome first round.
Oh yeah, me too. I fully agree. These like I was looking at these series before it even started, and like I didn't really see much of a dud out of any of them. Like maybe the Hurricanes Islanders was going to be a little bit boring compared to some other ones, but it's still been entertaining. Like every single one has storylines to watch, and I don't know. It's just been a ton of fun to watch.
The Canes series, I didn't really care. But then it was on. Like I threw it on TV. Game 3, a little bit of game 3, and I forget what the Islanders rink is called, but it rocks. Like that place
UBS
rocks.
Arena.
UBS Arena, that place gets going. Like it's so loud in there, it's sick.
Yeah, they have like I don't know if you can call them underrated because I feel like they've been talked a lot about recently, but they have a great fan base. Absolutely.
They do. Like it's so loud in there. Like them in Boston are like it almost feels like those two like fan bases and rinks are on a whole new level, whole different level for how loud it gets. Actually, I should sort of like correct myself there.
I think we're
I
thinking
just
of
know
the same thing here.
I noticed your Jets jersey in the background. Did you see the clip of the chant of True North? Did I send that to you?
Yeah, you did. And like the Winnipeg Whiteout is always one I'm looking forward to seeing when Winnipeg gets into the postseason. And again, it didn't disappoint. It's one of the coolest traditions in hockey.
It's sick, but like during the national anthem, the Jets fans always like yell "True North" when they sing "O Canada," and it was deafening in that rink when they did that. It was so cool, like one of the cooler videos I've seen.
Yeah.
Like I love that stuff. Like if I'm a player, either standing on the ice for O Canada or standing on the bench, whatever, that gets me so fired up to play.
Yeah, I can only imagine like I think Winnipeg is one of the smaller barns too, if not the smallest, but they
I think
always
so.
have it jam packed, and there is not a single person in that rink that is not wearing white. Like it's just it's such an epic tradition when you can match something with like audio and visual elements to match with the fans. I don't know. It was really cool.
It's very cool. Okay, let's get into last night's games. Is there anywhere you want to start?
Not in
You
particular,
want to,
no.
you want to start with Toronto Tampa? Seems like a
Sure.
kind of a natural starting point.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the Leafs take it 4-3 after tying it late in regulation. Absolute shit show of a game. I'm curious to get your thoughts on the whole Riley point hit, Kucherov grabbing Riley, everyone fighting, Matthews and Stamkos fighting. I have a thought on that. I thought it was genius by Stamkos. Just like the whole spiel. Like, what was your takeaway from that situation? I thought it was crazy that Toronto ended up with a power play.
Yeah, in that situation, I completely thought the same. When I watched it in real time, I thought Morgan Riley should be ejected and like
Yeah.
maybe not play again for the rest of the series. Like I thought it was that bad. Watching it back again, I still think it's not great the way he pushes him away from the boards, but I can see how that would be only called like I don't I don't know how you call that a 2, like what penalty you would call that for a 2. But
Boarding.
yeah, I guess. Um I don't know. I think they did the right thing by calling a 5 and then like assessing it, but then just taking it away and somehow giving the Leafs a power play out of the whole thing, that I didn't understand one bit.
I personally would have liked to see Riley get 5 for boarding.
I would have been okay with the 5. I would have.
I don't really care about the fact that like when you watch it back in replay, like it was an unfortunate collision and point kind of lost. Like Riley kind of rode him into the boards, like he did,
Yeah.
and he meant to hit him. Like that was not an accident. The result was an accident, but the intention was there. So I think Riley should have gotten 5 under the. So here's my thing: is I don't like the idea of Tampa going to a 5-minute power play for that. But then because of what Stamkos did by like completely instigating a fight with Matthews, I would have given like Stamkos 5 for fighting, Matthews 2 for like. Although I don't know if 2 guys actually have to both get fighting majors because like Matthews wanted no part of it. Because I'm almost thinking
Good
like you can
question.
cancel, like you can punish Riley without punishing the Leafs, if that makes any sense. Like you're almost canceling out Riley's penalty with Stamkos being an idiot.
Just logically, I feel like you need to call 2 5s for fighting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't like. Here's the thing: is like I wanted to see Riley get a significant penalty,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to see Tampa go on a big long power play. Like I don't know how. Like I don't know. Just because of the whole scuffle and everything.
Yeah.
Like
That's fair.
everything that
Like,
happened after the hit, it should have ended up with like Tampa having a 2-minute power play, I think. But like, I don't know how you cancel everything out for it to happen. And it ended up
yeah.
happening just in favor of Toronto, but it was weird.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch the fight element of that again because I don't I don't know. In watching it last night, I haven't seen it again today. I don't remember Stamkos I don't remember what he did to instigate it.
You
Can you
didn't
talk
see
about it?
did you see the video though?
Like I don't know. I just kind of looked when it happened in real time. I looked over and they were fighting.
Okay. So
So
I'll explain the scenario. Here's the penalty layout. I just went to the box, like the game notes for Toronto and Tampa.
okay.
So at 5:04 in the third period, there were 26 minutes assessed in one stoppage. So Kucherov got 2 for roughing and 5 for fighting. Morgan Riley got 2 for roughing. Radish, I don't even know what his first name is. Darren Radish got 2 for roughing, and then Ryan O'Reilly, Matthews, and Stamkos all got 5 for fighting. So it ends up all canceling out so that Toronto gets a 2-minute power play. But basically what happened was Riley rides point into the boards. Kucherov grabs Riley, wrestles him down, beats on him. Stamkos comes in with a little cross check. There's a big scuffle. The refs have it sort of under control, but Matthews is kind of just doing his own thing. Like he's usually unbothered by these sort of scums and stuff. Like he doesn't get involved. So he's just like going around picking up the sticks that are all over the ice, like just hilariously. He's like cleaning up his teammates' sticks. Stamkos, meanwhile, is like chirping at the ref. He's got a glove off. His stick is nowhere to be seen. And he's just like looking, kind of surveying the situation. And I think it maybe clicked in his brain that Tampa was going to go to the penalty kill anyway. So he basically just grabs Matthews, starts like knocking him in the face. That obviously pisses off Matthews. They fight. And then Toronto gets their power play. But all of a sudden, Austin Matthews is not on said power play.
Right. Okay, I'm watching it again now. I do
it's
remember
very
Matthews
weird.
getting dummied, and that's probably because Stamkos just grabbed him.
But it's absurd that Matthews got a penalty for that, or at least that Stamkos didn't get like instigating or something.
Yeah, but then are you really gonna give 17 minutes of penalties to Stamkos? Like that's the thing.
Yeah,
They probably didn't want to do that. But can you call then? I don't know. I don't know how the intricacies work, but can you call like a double roughing and then a single roughing?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like my thing though is I just don't think Matthews should have been penalized for that. Like I know like by the book,
Right.
like technically he fought because his gloves I think did come off, but like there's no way Stamkos shouldn't be penalized more for that situation. It's insane.
Yeah. No,
So
I don't disagree at all.
Tavares and Keith sort of came out after the game. You've probably seen these quotes talking about how it was actually like genius of Stamkos to do that, really good idea. But then they referred to it as manipulating the refs, which I thought was interesting terminology.
I saw that too, which I think is kind of hilarious.
Like I don't love the terminology. It makes it seem like Tampa has the refs in their back pocket, which I disagree with. Yeah. But I think how they meant it by manipulating the refs, it wasn't really that. They were manipulating sort of how the penalties were being assessed. Because all of a sudden, Toronto's going to go to the power play, but they don't have Matthews because Stamkos kind of fucked over Toronto by getting Matthews sucked into a fight.
Yeah, but like it's just smart. I don't know.
No, I think it's smart too. Like I'm not saying it's manipulating the refs. Yeah. Like I think saying that they're manipulating the refs is completely like incorrect. If anything, it's like
I think it's stupid.
Manipulating gives
I think it's
a bad. Stupid. The word manipulation gives like a bad implication. Like they're not manipulating anything. It's almost like they're strategizing their penalties. It's weird.
It implies that Toronto believes. I don't know. It kind of implies that they think Tampa's doing something wrong, right? Which they're just straight up not. And Cooper responded to those comments. I think it was this morning, saying like, "I don't even know what that means," which I thought was perfect. Because
which I get. Like
the same thing.
I got where Tavares and Keith were coming from though. Like I can see why they would think something like that, but they used the wrong words.
Yeah, you won the game. Move on.
Yeah, exactly. Like get over it. So like I'm so excited for game. I'm like holy shit. The series was already like the most interesting series, not even all that close. And now it just got taken to a whole nother level too. Like imagine how much of a shit show it's going to be when Bunting's back in game 5.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's 2 more things I want to touch on in this series before we move on. And I don't think we've done a pod since... Oh, yeah, because literally we got off the last pod and I read the news to you. So
that's right.
We didn't get that in the last one. So he got suspended 3 games, which I think is crazy for a playoff suspension.
Absurd.
First-time offense. Like, I do think it was a really bad hit. And
that's like the equivalent of a 12-game regular season suspension.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's so tough because I think it's a terrible hit. But 3 games is completely unprecedented in the playoffs.
Yeah.
For a first-time offense, anyways. Well, I don't know. What did you think?
I honestly... So here's my thing is like, I don't know if that I've seen the hit.
Really?
Yeah, I honestly don't know that I've seen it. Like, I kind of just saw the suspension. I was like, oh, that's a lot. But I actually don't know if I've seen the hit. I don't know if you have it or if you can trying to find it and send it to me.
I'll try.
Because I genuinely don't think that I've seen the hit, because I was watching the game, like, also, like, on Tuesday, game 1, at a bar as well. So, like, I was very, like, when I'm somewhere watching the game, like, if I'm not at home watching the game, I'm very not focused on the game. Naturally. Did you send it?
Yeah.
So I find that I miss a lot of the small stuff. I'm just gonna watch this bunting hit right now. It was that
It
one.
looks
I
worse in
forgot.
real time too.
See, I forgot. So I just forgot about the hit. Like, I just forgot because it's been a week.
And Cooper just announced today too that Cernak is still out for Game 4.
Wow. So. Okay. Yeah. No, it's a bad hit. 3 games, like, it's tough, right? Because I don't love the idea. No, this isn't the right words. I was going to say I don't love the idea that playoff games count more than regular season games, because that's, like, objectively true. Like, I think in the regular season, that's like a 6-game suspension.
Oh, yeah.
5 or 6. And I would also lean towards the fact that bunting is very much a targeted man in the NHL right now. If you look at, like, the penalty numbers and all this and that over the past year or so, like, bunting has been more or less being, like, kind of fucked over by refs. So I can see sort of the Department of Player Safety getting involved in that and sort of being like, this would have been a 2-game suspension, but given the sort of the precedent you've set this season for yourself and the reputation you've given yourself, like, 3 games. I still think, like, I would have been really okay with 2. I don't think 3 is outrageous. I don't think 1 would have been enough, though. Like, it's such a bad hit.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're splitting hairs whether it should be 2 or 3 games, but in the playoffs, it really does matter that much.
That's the thing.
So, I don't know. It's tough that this situation happens in the playoffs, and you have to, like, evaluate how much, like, Cernak's going to be out, how much it means that it's Bunting's first suspendable offense, like, all these things, right? They put in their little calculator and then punch out how many games he's banned for. So, I don't know. 3 games, I'm fine with it. I think it's a little harsh for playoffs just based on how they've called it in the past, but I'm not upset about it.
I was very surprised by it, but I'm not, like, going crazy over it. I think 2 would have been perfect. I think 2 would have been perfect. But okay.
One last thing in the Toronto series, did you see the Dubas clips from last night?
Yeah. Trip at the fans.
Electric.
So awesome.
So electric.
Do you know where that would have been? Where in the rink?
Oh,
like, what's the layout? Because usually, like, most rinks, like, GMs and stuff from where they watch are nowhere near the fans to be able to chirp them and stuff.
Yeah, I'm guessing their press boxes or whatever you call those are,
like, just like
much closer to the fans, or boxes
maybe
in Tampa. I don't know.
But that'd be pretty sweet, eh? Like, upper management just buying a box for the game. Like, that honestly might have been what it was. That'd be pretty sweet. No, I did see that. I love that. I honestly love that. Like, I think I've never seen that side of Dubas either. Like, he's such a reserved person.
And you just never see that from any management.
And yeah, that's true. That's true.
Any management, like, fan interactions ever. So that's
I love actually. It. Yeah, that's actually true. That's actually true. You never see anything. Okay. Do you want to go? Did you watch any of the Colorado Seattle game? No, you did. You wouldn't have.
I didn't, but I watched I watched as much as you can highlights this morning.
So I saw a take this morning that I thought was really interesting. I'm hoping you haven't seen it. Do you think Nathan MacKinnon is, like, borderline underrated? Like, not talked about enough?
I did kind of see this, but I didn't look into it that much. But my first instinct is yes.
Like, so I think Nathan MacKinnon is, like, clear-cut second best player in the NHL.
See, in my mind, that's not the case, and I think that's why I think he's underrated, because I feel like he should be in that conversation.
He should be, but he's just not.
But I don't, I don't think of him like that. Yeah, like, I think
he's
of
not
him like
seen
top,
in that.
I think of him top, like, 3 to 5 is how I see him right now in my head. But I feel like he probably should be in the conversation for 2.
Because, like, I think top 5 is, like, I almost won't argue anyone on this. Like, this is my top 5. It's McDavid, Matthews, McKinnon, Draisaitl, Makar. Like those are the 5 best players in hockey. I think that's safe.
I think Matthew Tkachuk might start knocking on the door
Matthews is Matthews there for sure.
but yeah,
And
relatively low.
after this season, like I'm putting Austin Matthews at 5 just because
Right.
like if it's gonna be like a power ranking type thing, I've got Matthews at 5 and maybe Matthew Tkachuk like at 6, like a Pasternak at 7, whatever.
Right.
Adam Fox top 10 as well. Okay, anyway, but like it just doesn't feel like Nathan McKinnon gets talked about enough. Like I'm not gonna lie,
No.
like he had 111 points in 71 games this year.
Yeah, that's absurd. And like, did you see his second goal last night?
It was insane, man.
Not normal players do.
It was insane. Like he is legitimately like ridiculous to watch.
Yeah, he's a freight train. Like he's got the speed, he's got the power. He just skates through people and makes his own lanes. It's a ton of fun to watch.
Like the way he moves and skates, like you think he's pissed off all the time, and he probably is. Like,
oh, he is.
He's such an angry person on skates.
Yeah,
it's.
I think he did an interview with TNT after one of the games where he took a bad penalty at some point, and he was like, "Yeah, I was pissed at myself," and I guess he just came out after that. It was like way better. I don't know. I remember watching that clip and it was just hilarious. Like he holds himself so he's so serious, but I don't know. It doesn't look that way when he's. I don't know how to explain this, and it might sound ridiculous, but the way he like skates, it doesn't look. Graceful.
It looks terrible.
Yeah, it's not
so
graceful,
ungraceful,
but it's so ungraceful. Like way better than most people out there ever.
Like when he skates, it looks like when he skates, he's stomping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when he stick handles, it's like freaking Travis Hamonic beaver taps on the ice.
Yeah.
Except like it's so good.
McDavid is skating like heaven, obviously, but McKinnon has the same dominance with the way he skates at some times, but it's just so different and so heavy. It's hard. Like we haven't seen that from a player before. It's crazy.
No, it's awesome. I think it's so cool. I think Colorado's going to take this series in 5. I think they're going to sort of roll through this now. I'm really bummed out that Landeskog's out because this Colorado team is so sick. But yeah, no, I need to watch more of this series. Like I haven't gotten the chance. I really haven't watched any of this series yet just because of how late those games are. And I've kind of just have this in my brain that Colorado is going to win the series. So I don't really need to watch it, you know? I'm bad for that, but yeah, no, definitely. But that was one thing I would definitely want to talk about is give McKinnon his flowers a little bit. Let's move to Devils Rangers, and then we can wrap up on Jets Knights. Devils Rangers, this game was kind of on. This one was in like a weird spot. So it had started, I think the Jets game was still going when this Rangers game started. So the Rangers game didn't come on the TV until the Jets game was done. But then the Rangers game started, but by the time the Rangers game started, I think it started at 8 o'clock. So like the Leafs game was like partway through the second period. So everyone was watching that. And so the Rangers game kind of got lost in the shuffle, but then overtime came around and it was awesome. It was a really good game.
Yeah. I didn't really see much of this one either, but I rewatched the highlights this morning and I did not really realize that Kreider now has 5 goals in 3 games, which is absurd. He's leading.
He's such a playoff guy.
Yeah. Like he always shows up. I don't know. I love to see that the Devils are showing some fight because it kind of looked like after the first 2 games there that we were going to be dead wrong with our predictions of them making this maybe a quicker series than a lot of people thought. But no, I still think this one is going to be a fun ending to it. Like I think the Devils are still going to push them here. So
Akira Schmid, 35 saves on 36 shots.
That's another storyline too.
Pretty wild. 22 years old. And I think it'd be pretty freaking sick if the Devils win Game 4 and take home ice advantage back after the Rangers took both in Jersey.
Yeah, just it's so much fun having the like teams in such close proximity go at it, because
Yeah,
we were talking about last podcast. I think that like the Rangers had a ton of fans when New Jersey had their
yeah,
home games, but there was a still noticeable like cheer when I was watching the highlights when the Devils scored in MSG. So like it's,
yeah.
I don't know, it's a lot of fun seeing the like regional opponents go head to head
And
like
they're
that.
like not like they're like right next to each other. Like
Yeah, it's
it's
scary close how like how close all those New York teams are to each other.
it it's almost like east end of Ottawa versus west end of Ottawa. Like that's how far they're separated, and it's like
Yeah,
it's not at all. It's not much at all. Like we're not talking about like Ottawa, Montreal here. We're talking about like less than that. Yeah, no, I really hope New Jersey sort of makes this more interesting, ties this thing back up. I like it when home teams like the home team keeps losing games. I think it's funny.
yeah,
Um, it'd be pretty awesome. Plus, I picked the Devils in 5, so but
yeah.
whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Um, okay, let's wrap up the show. Let's talk some Golden Knights and Jets. Uh, this one was crazy. I couldn't take my eyes off of it even when the Leafs game started. There were a bunch of Jets fans at the bar, which was awesome. They were so upset when they lost. The whiteout looked sick. But I just, for whatever reason, I just can't bring myself to cheer for Winnipeg. I'm so sick of like Shifley, Blake Wheeler, who are some other ones? Like, I don't know. I'm just sick of Winnipeg. I don't know. I'm excited for them to change up their roster.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I
Yeah,
am
I know.
hopping on this bandwagon and I'm falling more and more in love. Um, the Oilers are my think they could do it pick, but the Jets are my hope they can do it pick in terms of winning here. I also just kind of, outside of like Mark Stone, I hate the Vegas Golden Knights, so that's another storyline here. I don't know, their offense. I love their forwards, especially Kyle Connor.
Mhm.
And now that Ehlers is back, I don't know. I just really want to see them do it. Eichel though,
Was
3
Ehlers
points,
out
I
last
think,
night?
right?
I think
Or
Ehlers was out last night.
oh, was he not back yet? I thought he was
No,
supposed
it
to come
doesn't.
back.
I'm not seeing him on the score sheet.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Maybe
Yeah, no,
I am
Eichel, big
incorrect
game.
there, but yeah.
Eichel was buzzing.
I also didn't watch any of this game, if you can't tell.
I
But
watched overtime. Like I didn't see anything. Like I got to the bar at 7 and the game was still on. I was like, oh shit! Like this game's in overtime. Holy crap! So I watched the overtimes, and
Mhm.
it was a really exciting overtime.
I
I'm not
did
gonna
see
lie.
I did see that the eventual double OT winner though was on like a really bad giveaway. Do you
Yeah,
remember who the
it's
Jet was?
no.
Tough. Yeah, that was I watched that this morning. It was ugh. Like imagine going all the way to double
Oh my
OT
god,
and just flopping it right onto his stick in
throwing
the
a
slot.
pizza up the middle just for
Bah.
that to be how you lose. Not ideal.
No.
I also just
Also,
can't.
did you see that Morrissey is out for the series now at
Yeah, I
least?
did see that. I did see
Yeah,
that.
that's brutal for the Jets. So I don't know. I'm not looking great for that pick
What's
on
the injury on him?
I don't know. They're
Does it
not
say?
disclosing anything. Just lower body
Oh,
injury, I think.
he only
I'm sure
played
there's
1 minute.
I'm sure there's a video of it somewhere, but I just saw the headline.
He only played 1 minute in the game. Um, I don't know. This is like this series has kind of been my most difficult one to gauge because like I dislike Vegas. I dislike the players on Winnipeg. So it's
Hmm.
like I don't know. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd rather see Winnipeg win the series just purely because of like chaos, and I'm not a fan of Vegas. I was very much on the Eichel train when he got traded to Vegas. Now I just kind of couldn't care less. It's kind of weird.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Like they went into the playoffs this year and I saw that it was his first playoff appearance. It's like, "Huh. Okay, that's cool." And then I just didn't really think about him until I saw that he had 3 points last night. So
It almost it's actually crazy like how legitimate East Coast bias is though.
oh, it's crazy.
Like you can never you just never get the chance to watch certain guys.
No.
Like Eichel's games are only ever on at 9 and 10 o'clock at night, so you just never get to watch them because it's so late at night, and
That's
just kind of the way it is.
too. I feel like sometimes I'm not like appreciating the seasons I get to watch of
Yeah.
McDavid just because I never really get to watch his games live. It's tough.
It is tough. Okay. Today, what's going on in the games today? Carolina's up 2-0, 7 minutes left in the second. Florida, Boston, game 4. Who you got?
I don't know. I kind of want to say the Panthers.
Florida's like kind of giving it to them a little bit.
I know, and I don't think Bergeron's back yet. I think they said game 5 he's coming back.
I think so. I saw that as well.
So I don't know. I'm gonna say the Panthers sneak one.
And Krejci missed last game. Missed the last game. So if he misses this one too, like holy crap. Minnesota Dallas game 4. Who we got?
Is Minnesota home there?
Right? Yes.
Oh, I'm taking Minnesota. I said it last pod. The Stars were the team I was most worried about losing game 1. I think the Wild very easily could take the season now up 2-1. That I can see them winning at home and taking a 3-1 stranglehold.
Imagine if Fleury plays again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Philip Gustafsson has given up 3 goals on 77 shots in his 2 games.
Crazy.
That boy good. And the sort of main event of the night, Edmonton is in LA to take on the Kings. Game 4 down 2-1. LA with a chance to have a stranglehold on the series heading back to Edmonton. Is this going to be like sort of a little bit of a breakout McDavid performance in the playoffs? He's been quiet so far. Besides his 2 goals in the last game.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Like, they still lost that game, right, though?
Yeah, they did.
So I think this is going to be his first stamp where he steals a game himself. Like, he's not going to let them... There's no chance he's going to let the team go down 3-1 in the first round, right?
I'm thinking something like 4 points and a 5-2 win or something. Like 2-2. Something like that.
We're waiting for it. It's almost like a disappointment if he doesn't do it, which is screwed up to say, but...
Did you know Marner has 8 points through 3 games?
I did see that, which is crazy because I quickly glanced at like the playoff leaders, and I saw he was leading it. So he's like
he's the punching bag in Toronto for playoff, sort of not showing up in the playoffs, but like all of their guys have. Like Ryan O'Reilly has 5 points, Matthews has 5, Riley has 5.
Ryan O'Reilly is
Nylander and Tavares are both. Oh my god,
an epic trade deadline acquisition.
Oh,
I
that might be.
I loved it at the time, and like he showed it in game 1. I think it was. There was a moment where they were down like 3-0. I think early on, and he scored them back 3-2. He finds the will, and then obviously he scored to tie it last night, right? I don't know. Big game player. I love it.
Big game player. He's got a Conn Smythe, so he's been there, done that. He ain't scared. Yep. All right. I think we can probably wrap it up here, right? You got anything else? Any other news bits?
Just one little piece of news that I wrote down. I guess it's been calculated now based on performance bonuses and everything that the Bruins are going to have a $4.5 million cap hit going next year.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. And that's on top of Pasternak's raise.
Yep.
So all of a sudden you've got $4.5 million just like you can't use, plus what was it, $5.5 million that Pasternak's raise is going to be, like from 6.6 to 11.25, like
plus Bergeron maybe not coming back, plus Krejci maybe not coming back. Like,
yeah,
is it crazy to say that they might be done? I know we said
or
it last year, but...
even if they do come back, like you've got $10 million less in cap space to do anything,
right?
That all of a sudden you've got like take this roster, take off whatever pieces you want, but add $10 million in cap. Like that's sort of your starting point for the offseason. I don't know.
And with a surging Ottawa and Buffalo, like it's going to be tough to maintain.
I will never write off the Boston Bruins again, though, after this season, picking them to miss the playoffs, and then they casually put up the most wins in NHL history.
Yeah,
but,
that's fair too.
Hey, man, a couple of delusional Sens fans can dream.
Absolutely.
All right, hit the outro. This has been episode 23. Got some games tonight. This is a Sunday edition. A lot of games coming on Tuesday and Monday. It's 4 at night. It's the best time of the year for the NHL. Hope everyone's having fun with the playoffs hockey.